Who's doing the intro?
3, 2, 1.
I know
You see, somehow the world will change me and be so wonderful.
Welcome to the Baja Cast, as we would like to call it these days.
Officially, formally, and whatever else, the Baja Cast.
It's a whip.
That means what means work in progress for those who don't know. Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality, Trevor.
I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
Have you not eaten?
That's the sad part. Yes, I have.
I ate awful today. I will not make that same mistake tomorrow.
It's okay, Diego.
I know.
We're all here for you.
And your fucked up bowels.
not as fucked up as. Oh my god! Remember last Sunday when we lost Skyfall, and I just every like 10 minutes I gotta go fucking shit.
Diego's toilet got massacred that day.
He became an artiste.
I had like the spiciest fucking ramen ever that morning.
That was your downfall.
And that was my breakfast too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's your first mistake.
What did you have in between that and In-N-Out?
Nothing.
Mm.
Water.
Lovely.
Dude, that shit.
Your body was probably just like, wow.
Honestly, of all times, all right, I'm sorry, this is gonna get slightly graphic, but of all times, it's burned down there. This has been the worst indeed. Like that shit was a fucking fire.
Just fucking crocodile out of your ass.
The loudest sound ever heard by humans.
Nobody.
What's the name of that like famous volcano that like wiped out that town? What's that one?
Yeah, that's a Krakatoa.
Pompeii.
That's it? Pompeii.
Oh, Pompeii.
Pompeii. Yeah. That was your toilet. Your toilet was Pompeii.
Nobody. Diego in the morning. Set your ass ablaze.
This stench is overwhelming. I'm sorry. This must not be pleasant to hear, but anyways.
You know, we were gonna talk about scary things. This is pretty horrific. Like,
I mean, Diego shitting his brains out is very scary.
Yes. Yeah.
It's because it's rare, but when it happens, it's a catastrophe.
It is an experience.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I just shit like 20 minutes ago, and I feel like it was not as bad as you described. I was kind of pumped and dumped, and then came back.
Please never use the phrase pumped and dumped ever again. We need not hear it.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, Diego, what topic do we have today?
Scary monsters and nice sprites. So, scariest experiences with video games or scary games in general. So, the idea is even if it's a non-horror game, like say you're playing something, but it's just a very terrifying.
It creeps you out, or it startles you.
Yeah, something that stuck with you.
Yeah.
Or even like something that you saw as a kid.
Okay.
That's really scary. I won't lie.
So I loaded up Fortnite one time.
Oh. I guess the Venom skin is slightly unappealing.
Are we seriously talking about Fortnite right now?
I don't want to. I didn't bring this
All
up.
right, Diego, you go first. It was your idea for the topic. You go.
No, I should be last.
Why? Do you have a really good one? Are you saying that you're better than us, Diego?
No, but
I mean, I got a classic one. I got a super classic one. It's like a startling one. Once again, not a horror game. Super Mario 64. You go into that wooden room and there's a piano in the corner, and you get like halfway into the room and the piano like opens up. It has teeth and it's like dong, 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 dong. It's like kind of jump scares you, it startles you. Shit was fucking terrifying when you were a wee lad.
I'm sure it still is. Dude, these fucking Nintendo games back then, they put some shit in those games. Like,
Oh yeah, like Majora's Mask, the fucking
They-
moon. In
Oh,
Majora's
God.
Mask.
They instilled
Horrifying.
the fear of God into
There's a
young
lot of stuff in that
kids.
game. What a lot of people don't realize is the rest of that game is creepy. It's not just the moon. Everything in the game is fucking weird and creepy.
I've still yet to play it, but I do remember like on Smash Bros. Melee, they have that fucking moon as a trophy. So like when you're scrolling through the trophies, I remember like being a kid just having like the worst anxiety. Like I'm going through my trophies, and I know that fucking face is gonna pop out, and then it does. I'm like, oh fuck. Then when you're playing the map, and you just see the fucking moon in the background, and it's just getting closer and fucking closer and closer. Oh god.
Yeah, I
Allow me
like,
to introduce
like there's
you.
that meme, and it's like, you know, the 3 days remain meme. I didn't know that that was from Majora's Mask, and I've seen that meme a lot. I only learned that that was from Majora's Mask like a year or two ago.
May.
That game is like just overly creepy for no reason, and it's so fucking like I remember watching the AVGN episode, and it's like so depressing to watch.
Yeah. It's like it's literally the end of the world. It's
Yeah.
it's basically what people are doing to console each other before they die. Fucked
Just-
up, man.
Just like that Nicolas Cage movie, Knowing. Oh yeah, good one.
I mean, I played the Saw video games.
They had games.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even
More
know
than
that.
one.
What are those like?
They're pretty fun, actually. I'm not gonna
Isn't
lie.
it like a third person game with like puzzles?
Yeah. And I would purposely fail just to see how I would die.
Of course. It's like doing the fatalities in practice mode in Mortal Kombat. You just want to see it all.
Wouldn't they be extended though if they're like torture scenes essentially?
What do you mean?
Like, all right, like Trevor just said, like fatalities in Mortal Kombat. That's like pretty instant. But my question is, like in Saw, would they be like, oh yeah, 1 minute to solve this puzzle, or else, I don't know, bear trap or whatever.
It depends on what kind of trap it is. Some of them are instant, some of them are not.
Well,
It's like pick the right button or your head gets blown off.
what's been your favorite?
I mean, I don't really remember much about the Saw games. I just remember that I had a good time playing them, and I thought it was really cool that I died in certain ways.
So like, what generation was this?
The 360.
Now that you mention it, kind of seems a bit familiar.
There was a second one, but I didn't play the second one, but I've heard it's way worse than the first one.
Sadness.
Yeah. When are we gonna get those remasters?
They need to remaster like.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Godzilla.
I'm surprised they haven't remastered Simpsons. Simpsons hit and
I
run
think
yet.
it's something to do with copyright.
Thank God for emulators, right?
True.
Diego, shh, that's illegal.
Is it?
It's not illegal if you used to own or still own the game.
Yeah, but you haven't used that version or that copy or the codes from that game to play that emulator. That's the only reason how
That's
it's.
very liberal.
But that's the only way that works.
Huh. The more you know, eh? Ha.
Well, just in case, Trevor lives at
Yeah.
He lives in Idaho or something like that.
74. I can't remember.
There's a Dutch Bros nearby. That's all I know.
There's Dutch Bros nearby.
It's like from Minecraft when it says there are monsters nearby. There is a Dutch Bros nearby. You cannot sneak
Jesus.
it. There's a Dutch Bros nearby.
We need to make a horror movie that somehow has
Dutch Bros involved.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dutch Bros that turns people into zombies.
So, do you guys have, say, I mean, you kind of gave me an example already, Trevor, from Mario 64. Do you have anything else?
I mean, I'm sure I got a handful if I really think about it. Why?
I'm very curious.
Do you mean like from games that aren't horror, or just in general?
Just in general, like they can be horror games. They can also be like, for example, Mario 64. Generally not a horror game, but
Right, yeah. Just like
horrifying moments.
a creepy
Yeah,
moment in a game. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I got to think about it, but the one that I have that's pretty obvious right now is um, like Resident Evil 4 is based on like really actiony movies. Like it was based off like the first movie, and it's like super action heavy. It's like an action game almost. It isn't really creepy. It isn't really scary.
Is that the
And you
one
know,
that starts off with? Excuse me, sorry. The people speaking Spanish, right?
yeah, yeah. You're basically in like a big village, like a big town, and they're sort of like mind controlled people. Is really what it is. They have like a parasite in them.
Uh,
But you know, you end up you play through the game, you go through a lot of parts, like hours and hours in, and you kind of get used to the sort of pace of everything and how you fight the enemies, and they're all pretty much the same. And then you get to sort of a laboratory section, and there's this like shuffling and like breathing sound that a monster called a regenerator makes, and they're super hard to take down. And like part of the fear is that you're basically in like a corridor or in like a small hallway, like a bunch of this laboratory or whatever, and you just hear that fucking like, and you're just like, shit, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. And it's like
oh
really
no.
scary because they're not like normal enemies. They don't come in hordes. There's just one, and you have to take it down to progress. And it's like takes they're fucking creepy and they fucking jitter and shit, and they're big and like goopy and yeah. So they're pretty fucking scary. And that's like a good example of like sound design. Like where the sound can scare you, not the
Yeah.
creature itself. Like the inevitable doom can creep you out.
So, what would you say is the scariest Resident Evil game?
Oh man, probably 7.
Oh,
The first person one. That one, because that one is like completely focused on being a horror game, you know? Because like if you start from the first game, it transitions from like cheesy into like action. And then when they made 7, it was like horror game. Creepy as fuck. Scary. So,
I have very faint memories of, I think, the first one. Not that I played them,
first one's creepy. It's good.
but I kind
Especially
of
the remaster.
remember. Yeah, I remember. Isn't there like, all right, I don't really know which game this is in, but isn't there like a part where this very fucking tall ass person thing is like chasing you, and you're like kind of in this house, and there's like stairs and shit. I don't know. I have very vague memories of a scenario like that.
Well, in the first 3 games, there's like a big creature. Like in the first game, he's called the Tyrant, and in the second game, there's another dude, and they call him Mr. X, but he's in like a big trench coat. They're kind of the similar creatures to each other. And then the third game, there's Nemesis. Nemesis, I have a picture of in my house, and he's from Resident Evil 3, and he basically is programmed to kill all the members of STARS, which are the people who went to go see what was going on in the house, the mansion in the very first game. So like those handful of people. So basically, one of the only people that's left is Jill Valentine. And so like his whole thing is he chases after her the whole time in Resident Evil 3, and he's like, STARS.
Sounds like a complete bastard to me.
Oh yeah.
Fuck Skyrim.
There's a good one. That's a great one because that plays off of phobias rather than actually being scary or not being in a horror game. To specifically Jason, that's scary. The spiders in the first part of Skyrim.
You know, as someone that doesn't really have arachnophobia, it is pretty fucking. Because, like, there's a part. They're mostly, like, when you go in, like, caves and shit, but. Well, when you walk into, like, a room, it's very obvious. Like, because there's webs everywhere and shit. Like, even, like, when you, like, look up, there's a giant-ass hall, and you just see, like, the fucking spiral that come down. And then, like, at first it's far away, and then like instantly it's like right in front of your face, and obviously you're in first person, so it's like Oh fuck! This is like, you got like right here, hell close, no one over. That shit always gets me, and honestly, it's worse on PC because your monitor is like right in front of your face.
Oh
So
yeah.
so as much as I would like to try VR Skyrim, that is the one thing I'm like, goddamn, I'd shit my fucking, I'd be shitting bricks.
Hmm.
And the same reason why I still haven't finished Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, tell us about that, please.
I would rather.
Refresh my memory.
I mean, it was in its defense. It was a lit game up until.
It's for the it's for the children, Jason.
Oh, well, I am a child.
In a mask.
Hey.
Digoons.
No, fucking. You land on a planet, and then I forgot why. It's been a while since I played it last.
I remember in that game,
Atlanta.
like, you explore different planets, and I think you can
Yeah.
choose which one.
Yeah, I tried to choose the one that looked least likely to be spider infested.
Wasn't it Kashyyyk?
I think so.
You fucked up. That's just like a jungle.
But I don't know. It just didn't scream. I don't think it was Kashyyyk. I have to go back and look.
Mm.
I don't know.
It would make sense if it was Kashyyyk because it's like forest. There would be spiders there.
Yeah.
And I feel like Wookiees could probably fucking take down some big ass spiders. Know what I mean?
But
They wouldn't be afraid of them.
Well, yeah. But yeah, fucking. You're just minding your own business, and you're just fucking walking down a thing, and then you're like, oh look, this giant empty room. Let's go in here. That is a mistake. Do not go in the empty room.
Okay, so speaking of spiders, and speaking of Resident Evil, very
I
first
was
game,
about
the
to fucking say
remaster.
that.
Yeah, so Damien loves Resident Evil 1. He loves that first one. He was not scared of anything in that game until he got to a room and it's covered in webs. It's huge, and then you walk like a few feet into the room, and you hear like it's breaking out of it, and then the spider that is like the size of the fucking room comes into view, and he was like, shit, shit, shit. and he tried to leave. And he was telling me about the spider, and the name of the spider is fucking some shit like Black Tiger. It's just
I
this
remember.
massive fucking spider.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's really big. It's all covered in web, and yeah.
Bro, I would fucking.
It's basically
Turn
it's
off
one of
my
the bosses,
console so
basically. Because
fast.
there's like a snake, and there's the tyrant. One of the bosses is Black Tiger.
I'd fuck that spider up.
That's what. That's fucking. Hold on. It's funny you should mention that because. Well, okay. Look. Long story short, big empty room, right? That's not a red flag. So we walk into the room, and like, there's like that split second where, like you can't move, and you can tell it's going into like a cutscene, right?
Mhm.
So I walk in, I'm like, I can't move. Oh, it's a cutscene. What's gonna happen? Fucking giant ass fucking spider just fucking falls on you from the fucking roof. And it's like bigger than you are, and its fucking face is like front and center, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I like started freaking the fuck out, and I just turned off my fucking Xbox. I was like, nope, not ready for this. Nope. Instead of thinking rationally and just pressing the home button and just exiting the game, no, I had to turn off the whole fucking console.
Like physically?
Yeah.
When you
For some reason, I couldn't think of anything else to do but that to get rid of it.
would you technically be getting closer to the screen by doing that?
It's instinct. It's just
Hey, we've all had those moments. Like,
my survival mechanism kicked in.
Like that just reminds me of like being on my laptop. Oh, this video that I didn't think would be that creepy actually creeped me the fuck out. Slam and fucking
Fight.
close.
Fight or flight, as they say.
Yeah. That's a shame because like I
Um,
also haven't played that game in a really long time.
No, and I hate it because I know it's really good, but I'm a giant pussy. So
If it has not been obvious, Jason is not a big fan of eight-legged freaks, if you will.
yeah,
Not a big fan. I think that's underselling it a bit.
I'm gonna have to agree with Trevor on this one. If they were all to just burn off the face of the earth, I wouldn't lose any sleep.
Except my future tarantula pet. Thank you very much.
I want that one to especially burn.
Why are you so hateful?
Because it's gonna end up in my room somehow.
Dude, me knowing how you are, and me having a pet,
Uh,
what do you do with your pets? You love them like they're your fucking kids, right?
and I'm
You're
gonna set
the,
it
you're the last
ablaze.
fucking... You're the last person I will show that to, just for that.
Okay, fine. You can have one, but the rest of them gotta go.
No, not tarantulas. They're friendly, and they're essential.
Especially tarantulas.
If we didn't have spiders, there'd be fucking cockroaches like every 2 inches next to your
I
face.
can deal with cockroaches.
No.
Exactly.
Cockroaches
Be
are so much
thankful.
scarier.
Be thankful of spiders.
All right. How about we just fucking blanket statement? Just fuck all the insects. Burn them all.
No, that's the thing. You can't.
So many things would die. Like birds would die.
But birds aren't considered insects.
Lizards would die.
What do birds and lizards eat?
Bugs.
It's all part of the
okay.
ecosystem. That's a mess up.
Predator and prey.
Nice. I killed every single one of them.
Oh,
Not just the spiders, but the cockroaches. And the worms, too.
speaking of spiders, in the first Spider-Man game, like the movie, the 2002 movie,
Uh-huh.
I do remember there's a mission that just rubbed me the wrong way back then when I was a kid. It's that mission where you have to like sneak into Oscorp or something,
Oh, God.
and it's like when you're evading like those fucking, I forget if they're like people in robot suits or if they're just straight up robots, but like you're hiding like these black shadows and shit, just evading these fuckers. But when they catch you, that fucking alarm just goes off and shit, and they just blow everything at you. And I don't know, for some like it's not overly fucking creepy or anything, but that shit just fucking give me
Anxiety.
Yeah,
It's scary.
goddamn.
Yeah, the anxiety can be like really terrifying. Yeah.
But I feel like the anxiety of being scared and fearing for your life is like two different things.
If I was Spider-Man, I would not be fearing for my life because I'm a Spider-Man.
Well,
So I got you.
fair, I guess.
And I'm trying to think of anything else besides the big obvious one for me. All right. Well, actually, before we get to the semi-finale, I do remember vague memories of. You guys remember Fear?
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
I've never played it.
I remember it looking more
what's
cool
the,
than
like,
scary, but
What's like the premise of Fear?
not
is
a
it?
fucking idea. I just know there's a creepy ass girl. that,
Is
like,
Fear?
comes out of nowhere
Because Fear is abbreviated, right? It's F.E.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like an organization.
It stands
or
for something.
It's an organization, right? Like, are you playing as like a fear operator? You know what I
It's
mean?
been so long since I've
Is
read
it
that
is it
game,
something
I
like
forgot.
something apparition, something like that? Like they fight ghosts or some shit.
Fat apparition. Wait, no,
Nani?
wait. I was trying to decode the
Okay.
acronym, but I can't spell apparently. So let's move on.
Yeah, no idea what that game's about. Just remember there's like a creepy little girl, and it was a very gory game. I forget where you shoot at. But from that, obviously for me, well, semi-obvious, I guess. And Dead Space fucked me up as when I was younger. I will say that.
Never played Dead Space 1. Played Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3.
Fear. First encounter assault recon.
Thank you. Now, Dead Space.
Dead Space has so many good moments. That game, the first one, the beauty of it is the sound design.
Yep.
Like,
the fact that there is no
because
sound.
you come into a room, pretty big room. There's vents, there's big like windows, there's doors, there's multi levels, right? Above, when you come into the room, above you to the left, there's a vent, and you hear this girl singing "Twinkle, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star" very, very slowly. And if you turn and you go to the other end of the room, her voice like carries through, and it starts coming out of the other vent that you're staring at. So it's like, you know, twinkle, twinkle, little star, and like this is the same game that like you're attacking like crazy alien like zombie monsters and stuff, and all this fucked up shit is happening. Can we turn off the phones while we're in the movie theater, please, motherfucker? Who is that?
I'm sorry.
Diego, shut it
No,
off!
you're not.
Trying to fucking talk.
You're really rude right now. There you go.
I muted. Continue.
Well, my point
Wait,
is
hold
over.
on. I gotta say something. Mama's dead. Oh no. That's why I thought it was a fucking Dave Chappelle thing. Where the fucking dude has the phone in the middle of the fucking show.
I forgot about that. And he's like, well,
What if we're harassing Diego, but like he answers his phone? Mama's dead. Oh no.
Oh no!
Mama's dead. Ah.
then you say something like, well, what the fuck is this, high school? Like, go answer your phone, nigga.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking Dead Space is.
I will say, it's definitely less scary for me now that I've played it the couple times I did, somewhat recently. But I do remember before that, like, the biggest memory I have of that game was, oh, I'm going in an elevator, la 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 la. Door opens. This fucking chases me out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Especially when I was younger and, i.e., more of a bitch. that was just completely terrifying.
Yeah. First one's the scariest for sure.
But I will beat it one day.
I like it.
I mean,
it's really good.
I concur. I definitely love the atmosphere.
So good.
And I love the premise. Because
I like how you're not like an action hero or a soldier. I like how you're just a fucking engineer. You're there to fix shit,
I liked how
not kill aliens.
fucked you are.
Yeah, literally fucked. It's just you.
Ooh, can we go back to Skyrim?
Yeah.
no. It's just gonna continue.
So it never happened to me. So it doesn't really count as something that I've experienced. But I do remember like seeing a video that my brother was actually watching. It was like some like top 10 creepiest moments in non-creepy games. And they're just this terrifying glitch that just fucked with me. So bad that to the point where I was in that situation, I just had so much anxiety. So in Skyrim, you can buy houses. And in some cities, pretty sure all cities, but I do remember in a specific one, you buy a house and you have these wooden mannequins that you can like put your armor on and all that shit. Well, in this video, there's a glitch that these mannequins just start moving and walking. And like in the video, it just showed how you were in first person just facing the wall. And then like the guy just turned around and the fucking mannequin was like right fucking behind him, like face
you
first.
said this is a game?
Yeah, Skyrim.
Oh, it's in Skyrim.
Yeah. And like the dude turns
crazy.
around and it's just like face like right in front of him, like the mannequin just standing there.
Ooh,
And the
like
mannequin doesn't have like any like it doesn't have like any facial, like it doesn't have eyes or anything. It's just straight up wood. But
Jason, what are those things called from Doctor Who?
Weeping Angels.
Bingo. It's like
oh
that.
god.
They do that.
I'm not
in,
sure Diego that episode.
What is that thing called? Oh, condemned criminal or
What?
Condemn what?
controller went out. But in Condemned Criminal Origins, they have like a mannequin room, and they do that. You turn around, they're like behind you, or they follow you. Shit's terrifying. And like an inanimate object that is like, it's borderline like Uncanny Valley, you know?
See, that's my. That's definitely like the thing that's creepiest to me out of anything. Just the whole uncanny thing. That that fucks with me.
Mhm.
But but yeah, I never really experienced it myself. But whenever I do, like, go in a house and there's a mannequin, I'm like, God damn, you stay the fuck right. You do not move at all, not 1 inch.
Shoot it!
Shut up, fuck. I'm in charge here.
It's my money.
So yeah, it is kind of frustrating because I feel like there's other times I've been creeped out by games, but I can't really think of anything right now.
The .exe games.
Well, I've never played those, but that Sonic one kind of unsells me.
I think
definitely.
I think the worst part about the Sonic one for me is the music. Music is
Yes.
fucking horrifying.
Yes.
Like,
I'd
okay,
have to
oh,
hear
it's
it
like
again,
an
but-
it's like an edited sprite of Sonic. Oh, okay, whatever. But like the music, oh god,
I mean, the levels are all like hellscapes.
like fucked up. Yeah, like the animals are all like fucked up and bloody on the ground.
Dead.
and yeah,
And there's corpses and the levels like miscolored.
yeah.
It's really fucking creepy.
There's a
Tails, I'm gonna eat you now.
The fucking music.
God.
there's a
Yeah, I would rather. Why are we talking about this at 1 a.m.?
because it's October. There's it's a Godzilla NES game that there was a creepypasta of,
Oh my gosh.
and I forget what happens.
Creepypastas.
It was pretty much like this guy buys a copy off eBay or some shit, but like the copy is cursed, and then like
That's how it always starts,
Yeah.
isn't it?
They end up with a copy of the game, and it fucking.
and like it ends with like he has to like give someone else and give the curse to someone else and shit. So it's kind of like the movie It Follows, except no sex.
There's like a meme going around the internet right now that's like, you and a snail are both immortal, right?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And,
continue.
If like you get to live your life normally, but if the snail touches you, you die a horrible, gruesome death. But like it's a snail, so
But like,
Yeah.
but you're
It's
also both immortal.
can anything
so-
stop this snail, physically speaking?
You can put it in a jar, I guess.
Well, that would make
But
it
then
too
you-
scary. But
Then you run the risk of it touching you, but then again, I guess you could like get somebody to do it for you.
Exactly.
I
Because
guess
it's
to
not
me,
lethal to
but-
somebody else. It's just you.
But like, do you know where the snail is at all times?
That's a
or-
good point. That's a good point.
well, it'll make it scarier if it's absolutely nothing can stop it. But it's a snail, so it'll take a really long time. But no matter where you go, it will always follow you in every direction, and
Well-
nothing will stop it. Like nothing.
I mean, that would be unrealistic. That would be like too much. I
Yeah,
think for
because
that.
that's
for the
kind of
scenario.
unfair.
For the
Because
scenario.
you're
that
kind
would be
of
too much.
giving the snail
you-
supernatural powers, and you're just
You would
Well,
kinda-
if the snail kills you in one touch, it's like already supernatural to begin
Yeah,
with.
but it's literally just a snail. I think is what Jason's point is. Like, it's the only thing that will kill you. The only thing that's threatening is if it touches you. Other than that, it's just a snail. It's not a strong snail. It's not fucking Broly snail.
It's
So-
really snail.
So just make somebody else put it in a fucking jar, and then you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, I don't. But then I guess if you're immortal, that jar would eventually like decay or break or something.
Get a new jar.
Those jars aren't available because like the planet's destroyed.
Well, if I'm immortal, definitely kill me. Fuck it.
You can't. You're immortal.
Unless the snail touches you.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I'll let the snail touch me. Well, it's like all right, I'm ready to go. I've lived my life.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I'd rather just die. I don't want to die a horrible
It's
death.
not
Oh
as
yeah, you have to die a
scary.
horrible death. Oh fuck, I forgot about that part.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Here's one. Going back on topic. Another one from Mario 64. I don't think it's as creepy, like to me personally, or like as scary as the fucking piano. But do you guys remember? Have you guys ever seen what the eel looks like? There's like a big red eel with teeth from Super Mario 64.
Thanks for reminding me, because I actually have a similar story. But continue.
No, that's it. I was just saying if you remember
See,
that.
I
But
have
he's
something
pretty
like
creepy.
that, but
He's
it's
creepy.
I have something like that, but it was from a movie. It wasn't from a video game.
Well, what's the movie?
Y'all ever heard of a movie from Disney called Atlantis?
Yes,
I haven't seen it in a very
Yeah,
long
have you
time.
You ever watched it?
I used to
I've
own it
never,
on DVD.
but I don't remember it.
I don't know why, but when they're getting attacked by like that scorpion thing, I don't know. It's just very creepy to me as a kid.
Mhm.
And like you never see it. Like you see like bits of it, but you don't like see the full thing quite. You just like hear it smashing the fucking ship and shit. And then there's like one scene where like there's like a metal part, because I guess it's metal, I think, given the way it was drawn. Like there's this metal thing like up against the front of the ship, which is like, if you remember, it's like a globe thing. So it's like all glass.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, what is that? And it like opens and it's like a red eye, and I'm like, that's really fucking creepy. And then like the thing that sold it for me, for being unsettling, is like they all get out of the ship and it shows like the ship like blowing up. And then, like, you see, like, these glowing red eyes just coming at the screen. And I'm like,
You have more than one instance from an animated thing of red eyes creeping you out.
What's the other thing?
It's,
Unicron.
yeah, what's the other thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, me too.
He's like, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me, Trevor.
It's not. But that's another thing where, like, the music is very
Music works
crucial
well. Yeah.
to that being scary. I'm surprised fucking Zeke doesn't creep me out.
You're good.
Or at least 3D Zeke.
Dude, I won't lie. Every time you say Zeke, I just think of
Zeke, aka the bearded shit.
You should have just kept reading your book like a good boy. So speaking of eels, in Mario Sunshine, there's a mission where you have to like brush the teeth off this fucking giant ass. It pretty much resembles a whale, but like it's a giant ass eel.
I know where you're going with this.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So like you go underwater and you have to like use your fucking water thing to brush this dude's teeth, but like
Yeah, essentially.
it's just creepy because like you're underwater and this thing is just giant, and and you have to like worry about not dying from drowning, and
It's very unsettling.
it's something I never knew had a term before, because I always kind of had somewhat of a fear of this, but it's called like, it's not liminal spaces. It starts with T.
Lipoma.
Like
never-
Tasmophobia or something like that.
Tasmanian devil.
I've heard that. That's the name of a horror game. What does that mean?
If I'm
Hey Google.
if I'm not mistaken, fear of the ocean or other large bodies of water. But I also think it has to do with feeling like there's giant ass creatures in the ocean, because I've seen posts of like that word, and also like a giant fish or whatever, but like it's just very unsettling, and that's just what it made me feel. And
Side note,
sorry.
What?
And in general, I mean, I don't like those shit, so that doesn't
Yeah,
help.
for sure.
I never really have, but I have lots of stories that I will share later on of me completely almost fucking drowning at the beach. So
I almost drowned in a fucking hotel pool once. I was a fucking idiot.
yeah.
Cause I fucking started swirling around and I got dizzy.
Oh god.
And I was like, I wonder what this feels like underwater.
See, but at least in the pool, you're not worried about getting
Oh,
eaten
dude, I was
alive.
freaking the fuck out because as soon as I went underwater, I couldn't tell which way was up, and I'm like, oh shit, fuck. And I started freaking out, like, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna fucking die here.
Fun fact:
And I also
you
find
didn't die.
Spoiler alert. I also find it hilarious that the fear of long words is itself a long word.
Oh yeah, that's a weird fear. How about phobophobia? The fear of having a phobia.
That's a good one.
Wait. No, the fucking the long words part is like, just close the book.
Walk away.
Yeah.
If
If a kid's bullying you on the internet, just turn
Oh my
on the
God.
computer.
iconic tweet.
Oh, fucking Tyler, man. Fucking iconic.
So, I feel like this is a moment that Trevor, maybe Jason, maybe, has been waiting for.
Huh?
Drum roll, please.
Okay, well, he's still going.
So, your kids ever played Metroid?
Oh, shit.
I played it a few times. Why you ask?
I played Metroid Prime.
All right,
Man,
I'll start with that one. So,
Hey.
so I feel like even that game has some creepy elements to them. I feel like mainly.
I 100% concur.
Well, first of all, actually, if you have to go, let's go to like the very beginning of that game. You go on this shipwreck, right? And
That's really
already,
creepy.
yeah, like, well, you're passing like these pirates that are like injured, like they have like broken legs and shit, but like they're still alive. And some of them start shooting you, and you're like, what the fuck? Like you don't have any power over me right now.
Look, I'll blast you in the next month.
Yeah,
and like
Also, the
second-
first boss was kind of unsettling as
the
well.
Parasite Queen.
Yes.
it's the second one where you're reading the logs or listening to the logs of the dead soldiers,
Oh
right?
yeah, Prime 2.
They literally took that from that game and put it in Dead Space.
Eh,
Literally, that's
nice.
that's in Dead Space. Like
Prime 2 was also very unsettling.
You're right, because I actually totally
that
forgot
intro is great. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
I also totally
I
forgot
had, like,
that the
the-
soldiers low-key become zombies from like the dark matter or whatever.
Like hearing somebody that you know is dead speak about what happened to them is fucking creepy. So scary.
Wait, oh, that's right. Metroid 2 or Prime 2 has dark matter. I wonder
Yeah.
how long it took them to get like all the camos and fucking.
Well, I forget what you call it.
How many
It's
headshots
it's like
does it
dark,
take?
dark energy or some shit. Dark Aether. Well, the planet's called Aether. And then there's Dark Samus.
Well, damn, they play zombies then, so they're actually
Triple
real ones
bosses. 20 consecutive kills without dying or getting hit. Oh
then.
man.
Exactly, yeah.
And Dark
Killing it.
Samus is so. She's not terribly creepy. Maybe the part where you can see like her brain and skull. Or
She's
something.
hot.
Okay.
I like Dark Samus better than regular Samus.
Wow,
Suck my
dude.
ass.
Just because of Smash Bros.
True, but
I
still.
love them both.
Dark Samus has. I forgot Dark Samus has toes, which is kind of weird.
Does she have?
She does.
Does she have titties?
Sure,
Are they rotted though?
probably.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Dark Samus is just a Metroid in the shape of Samus's body.
so if
Uh,
you fuck as hold on,
Uh,
if you,
let's not get PG-18 in this bitch.
it's too late.
This is
Parental
not
Guardian 18.
this is not the intention of this topic. Thank you very much.
I mean,
I haven't played too much of Prime 3 to find anything creepy in that one.
there's a Prime 3.
Yeah, it's on the Wii.
On the-
Oh yeah.
Speaking
inferior console.
speaking of creepy things, there's Other M. And while getting creepier than that, there's Federation Force.
Horrifying. There's nothing scarier in the world.
Alright, I'll say the most recent thing with the most recent game. There's like EMI robots or whatever. Something like that. You go in these rooms and you can tell when it's gonna happen now, the more times you do it. But like when you go in these rooms, the atmosphere is just different. The music is like ominous, and you just know they're out there. And yeah, they're like trying to look for you. You can do nothing, like zero damage to them. Like it is 100% like your goal when you encounter them is just run and keep
Objective.
running.
Survive.
Yeah, literally. And like at first it didn't seem creepy until like I had to keep doing it over and over again, and like just the anxiety of like, oh my god, like because first of all you're going into a brand new room. You'll know like the layout of this room because it's your first time being there. So you're just like fucking panicking. You're like trying to see like, oh, like am I even going the right way, or maybe I might hit like a dead end and shit. And meanwhile, this fucking robot keeps chasing you. And then when it captures you, you just die. It goes into a cutscene where it just fucking kills you. So it's like there's no way to like you can't like, oh, it got me or it damaged me a little. Like no, like you will die instantly if it catches you. So that's even more fucking pressure for you to like keep running and running. So from Metroid Dreadful, dare I say those parts are Dune Dreadful. But back to Prime 1. So there's the Chozo Ghost. At first, they're kind of creepy, especially when they start appearing in all those Chozo ruin sites. Because you go into the room, it gets dark, and then you just see like the white come out, and you hear like that, like a very high pitched sound. So that itself is creepy. But then you get so used to it. And a lot of backtracking when you're going through that map. So you're going through these rooms constantly. So what was creepy at first just becomes so fucking annoying to deal with.
Like monotonous.
Yeah.
Monotonous.
Because it gets to the point where you just go through rooms, they appear, and you're like, nah, I'm not fighting you, I'm just gonna go through the door.
Ooh, I got one.
Hit me, baby.
So, this only works for the very first time that you play this game, and it's not a horror game, and that's Destiny 1.
Oh.
First time you play Destiny 1, it's the first time that you see the Hive, and they're called Thralls, and they're like these white, like, wrinkly, crackly, sort of mini, like, you know, like, very, like little enemies, like, easy to kill enemies, right? But you go into a room and everything is like pitch black except for your flashlight, and you hear like, and your companion talking to you is just like, oh, here comes the Hive, and then you hear like, and then out of the darkness and like down the stairs come like hundreds of these fucking things, and they're like running at you and sprinting at you and clawing at you, and you're like,
damn, we gotta play it then.
and then you're just like, oh. Oh, that was easy. And then nothing is ever scary ever again. It's just that one scenario. But I just remember the first time that happened, I was like, oh shit.
Nice.
I mean, I have a horror game I play semi-regularly.
What's that?
Warzone Solos.
I'm sorry for your loss.
And I get generally spooked.
How so?
Because it's solos, so there's a lot of pressure on just you. And, like, the further the game goes on, the more pressure you feel.
It's going back to that, like, anxiety point of, like,
That makes
the
sense.
build-up.
So, like-
the build-up. So, like, somebody comes around, you're like, ah!
Well, look at that.
No, the worst is, like, fucking... I just walk in the house and some guy's just sitting in the corner. He fucking lights me up, and I'm like, God, fucking. I like scream, and then I'll get really angry.
You like flail around and aim and
Yeah.
freak out, man.
Speaking of Call of Duty, do you think there's any like creepy moments in Call of Duty? Well, I guess not creepy, but like
How about for
Maybe
the
zombies.
How about the very first time that anyone saw the Nazi zombies at the very end of?
oh, you mean how
World
like
at
they
War.
run towards the fucking
Yeah.
screen?
How about the very first time you ever saw that?
Yeah,
Shit your
that-
fucking pants.
That's pretty unsettling.
Because you had no idea, just no idea. Like the the little screen comes up and you're like, what the hell is this? And then, and you're like,
And you're like, oh no, they're Nazis.
I mean, speaking of zombies, I think there's probably some pretty creepy moments in there. You know,
You
Not
remember
only
World War
in
II?
gameplay,
That one, wasn't there that one giant ass freaking
yeah. I
thing?
mean,
Zombie thing, I don't know what you call it.
I mean, in that game also, like you'd be doing the different tasks, and like they would try to jump scare you, which I
Oh,
think
yeah,
is pretty
that's
funny. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Was that the one where like it was impossible to die?
Oh yeah, that's the one. We could play that for literally 4 hours straight. We'd be fine.
So shit. But like,
And
in,
I loved it because that's my favorite.
But in Black Ops 3, that's the one that was hard, right?
Impossible. Impossible. I would be surprised if we made it to like round 10.
But we could become the boast.
Yeah.
I guess it's not creepy, but I remember in the Modern Warfare 3 survival mode, like when you get like really deep into it, they're just saying like Juggernaut after Juggernaut after Juggernaut.
Yep. Yep. And they become scary because of the anxiety of dying and the difficulty build up.
And they also like walk, like they'll really run. Or if they do run, it's like when they're actually like, all right, no more fucking around, we gotta kill these fuckers. But I guess mission-wise, the closest I can think of is a very brief moment, and it's in Call of Duty 4. All gillied up.
Mm-hmm.
That part where it's
Oh,
like,
Lord.
you know, lay on the floor by the grass and just let the soldiers walk over you.
Yeah, be sneaky and like you're like, oh, I hope they fucking don't find me. I hope I'm in the right spot, you know?
And like, it's one thing to be
Advanced
playing a video
Warfare,
game,
what?
but like, just imagine like a real life scenario. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh my god.
Like you literally can't breathe, let alone move.
And also, just that map too. You know, Pripyat, Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
Even before I even knew any of that, I always found just that whole area just so unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with context, it's extremely unsettling.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
So it's a good
That
game.
was a ghost town.
Were you 12?
A little bit.
You guys ever played Bioshock?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. There's too many. There's a scene where you're like, you go into a dentist's office, and you're like looking around for loot and stuff, and looking for like, you know, like audio logs or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
And then like the lights turn off and like fog fills the room, and like it's pretty dim and like there's fog, and you turn around from like the desk that you're at after that happens, and he is right in front of your face, and he's like, "Ah!" And you're like,
Well, I look forward to experiencing that as soon as I get to the game, because I still haven't replayed much of that,
There's
unfortunately.
a similar situation that happens in Bioshock 2 that's scarier, but I won't spoil that one.
I still think it's hilarious where you just fucking watch the fucking Big Daddy just fucking murk that one dude in the beginning.
It's so good. He
Oh, yeah,
throws him into
I
the
remember
fucking
that.
wall. And he's like, ah! Oh my god!
Honestly,
Okay,
I'm
so
shocked.
I was playing Bioshock 2 on an airplane one time, and that jump scare part happened, and I like jumped on the plane.
How are you playing it? Was it on a go?
Did the plane like shake a little bit?
Oh my god!
Yeah, because everyone got scared.
The pilot was like, "We're experiencing some turbulence in the back left of the plane."
They're going.
Trevor's like, "Wait a minute, I'm in the back left of the plane."
I'm in back left.
Enemy at fucking Alpha. Wait a minute, I'm at Alpha.
All right, I got a weird one, because in Dragon Ball Z, in the actual show, it doesn't really creep me out that much. But I remember as a kid, Budokai 1, third form Frieza freaked the fucking shit out of me. Like when I would see like cutscene and see fucking that, oh
Was he
god,
nailing Piccolo?
yeah, I was like,
That's like the
oh,
only clip.
so
That's like the
ugly.
only clip of yeah, it's horrifying. Literally looks like an alien. Looks like a xenomorph.
Yeah, so I never liked that part of it.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah,
There's a clip from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and Krillin sees Frieza in second form, and he's like, horny, and then Frieza stabs him in the chest.
Gotta love it. So, speaking of Metroid,
I think it's time for you to finish this podcast, Diego. Let's hear it. Here's the finale, the scariest thing.
what I liked so much about Dead Space when you were finally like, describing the very specifics of it is how you're on a ship, and in this ship, you're surrounded by things just trying to kill you, and you're very vulnerable. And I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Metroid Fusion.
Dun dun dun.
I feel like I gotta start when I first got this game for Christmas. I was like fucking like 5 or 6 or some shit like that.
God.
Dude, I asked for Mario for Game Boy, and I got
my
Metroid
God.
Fusion.
Oh
And,
my
this was,
God.
and like I had no idea what the fuck this shit was. Like, I look at the cover of it, I'm like, what does this fucking Power Rangers look like? Like, I have no idea what. Because even like Samus, like everyone knows Samus in like the orange suit, you know, like the various suit. So like I didn't know that was like the same character. But eventually I started playing it. That game being rated E is bullshit. That's all I'm gonna say. Like rated everyone. Like no, it is not. If you're a little
I thought you
kid,
were gonna say Reddit.
if you're a little kid, you will be traumatized because I was traumatized. So obviously, like the whole premise is like you're Samus, you know, pretty OP to start with, but you experience a virus attacking you. So Samus goes through like a surgery, and she gets like a Metroid vaccine because what ends up attacking her is this parasite called the X, which were prey to the Metroids. Now, in the story, Samus had already eradicated Metroids off this planet, and because of that, the X were allowed to multiply and flourish and just ravage the planet. So, when they figured that out, she got a Metroid vaccine, and her DNA was changed, blah blah. Bad news was she was now extremely vulnerable to ice, as Metroids are, because she had Metroid DNA in her. So, a Samus that was once very OP is pretty much like just so like vulnerable to like everything, and that's how you start the game. And it pretty much like even when you get to the first boss, like the computer tells you had like a 10% chance of survival, and like the whole time there's just such like an eerie atmosphere. You're going through the ship, bad shit has happened, people died, there was an explosion, etc. You're just there to investigate, and you know it's like it's leading up to something. So, blah blah. You beat the first boss. It wasn't as bad as you thought it'd be. And oh, one thing to mention is these X parasites mimic their prey. So anything they kill, they can become essentially. Um, so then, like, you get an objective to go to this lower part of the ship. So you're going, and then you go to the infamous scene where you go down the elevator. And the camera doesn't follow you as it usually does. It just stays on that one shot of the elevator room that's now empty because you went down. And all of a sudden, an explosion. Then you see the various suit of Samus just walking. Very slow and just so ominous. And then you hear that very chilling music in the background. Just this one tone. And all of a sudden, this Samus turns the camera just zooms in instantly to this jump scare of her face with blank eyes, and it was just the most chilling like sound, like you know.
I hate shit like that so much.
And I'm like, that just destroyed me as a kid. That was like the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh my fucking god. And what's even scarier is later on when the computer finally like acknowledges this thing, it plays that same clip again with a freaking another jump scare. Because like you're talking to the computer and like there's music at first and then it just becomes silent and it's like like this loud ass fucking song just starts playing and it shows that same clip again. So I remember like as a kid like when playing like that game again, like I'd have to like turn the volume down. I had to like look away. Like I was like, no, I'm not seeing that thing. It's so much anxiety. But then
Don't blame you.
but then you find out this thing is actually called the SAX, Samus Aran X, and this thing is mimicking your various suit, i.e., it has every single weapon upgrade, like every single strengths that you once had. Then, and to make matters worse, it's hunting you throughout the entire game. So, as you progress through the game, there's many times that you go into your room and all of a sudden this thing enters that same room you're in. And you gotta like hide, you gotta turn a morph ball and like go into these tunnels and every single time.
I remember you showing me a clip and you knew the thing was gonna come into the room and you turn into a morph ball and go under the floor and it walks on top of you and like the light comes in and it's like looking around and it leaves and you're like
and the scariest thing is like when you hear those footsteps is oh god. And then later on there's scenarios that you have no choice but to face it and run. like there's like you can't hide, like you have to like face it or just keep running.
Insane.
And that's not even to mention just the entire game is just creepy as fuck in general. Like the enemies are all just so grotesque looking. There's just so many bad things that happen.
Nightmare is horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So the thing with Nightmare, which I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think of the other bosses if any of them are scary as well. They're all pretty creepy, but Nightmare takes the fucking cherry on top of the creep factor.
Because it like starts off as like a robot or whatever. It starts like it looks like it's made out of metal.
Yeah, but like there's that build up too. Like, oh, this entire sector has been destroyed. This thing escaped essentially.
That is the best way to do something is when they like preview it to you.
Yeah,
they hint at it.
Because it's in Sector 5, which is like a icy arc sector. By the way, like to mention, like there's like sectors 1 through 6. They're all like environments of like different environments. For example, 3 it's fire. 6, I believe, it's like just dark, which that one is a creepy one too because of how dark things are. So 5 is pretty much like a freezer, if you will. It's just ice. Now there's a giant ass room where you have to like climb upstairs. Eventually you get to a part where you go through a room again and all of a sudden you see like the silhouette in the background of Nightmare just
like flying around.
Yeah, and you have no idea what that is till later in the game. You get like an emergency, like, oh, Sector 5 got like blown up by this thing, and you're going through that same sector and everything's demolished. Like it's not even ice anymore, just like everything's just melted and shit. And there's a big build up to get to like that map where you fight him, and he's like an anti-gravity fucking boss,
it makes
which
like
is fun.
Sounds and shit.
So it gets to a part where like your missiles can like barely hit him and shit. He drops your health down like a motherfucker. And then eventually when like you shoot off like one of his arms or whatever, it shows his face and just melting like 6
nasty,
eyes, fucking
goofy.
and you're just like, what the fuck is this thing? And like it was like a war machine or something that the freaking people that made it called it Nightmare, because that thing very much is a nightmare. And to bring back other M to the conversation, there was this one video I saw that jump scared the fuck out of me because Nightmare is also an other M.
Yeah,
To make matters
he's
worse,
like little. He's like itty bitty.
yeah,
He's
but
too
to make
small.
matters worse is that you can see him in first person, and there's like parts where he screams right at your face. So keep that in mind, because this video was like top 10 Metroid bosses or whatever. One of them obviously was Nightmare. So like the guy, the way he edited this video, it was a dick move to be honest. Because alright, I'm watching it. He's like showing the fusion part. He's like, "All right, this is Nightmare. Looks pretty grotesque, but couldn't be worse, right?" And as he said it, it goes to the clip of Nightmare and Other M just screaming at the top of his fucking lungs at your face, and like, yeah, just fucking boom, jump scare from that video. I'm like, oh my fucking god, that like I felt my heart just fucking boom, like on my chest when that happened.
Lit.
I was like, you fucking asshole. But yeah, pretty. Again, this game is rated E, not teen. E. It's so yeah, it's so
They
intense.
at least should have given it like an E10, you know?
Pretty sure it was before E10 was the thing.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think
Because
Shadow the
Fusion-
Hedgehog was
Because Fusion
One of
came
the
out at the same
reasons
time
that-
as Prime, right?
Same thing, yeah. What about Shadow?
I said that, and like there was a couple other games where when that came out that introduced like the whole E10, E14.
Do they even do that anymore? E10?
There used
I
to be
don't think
games
so.
rated like adult.
Because I remember when
That's
I
just
picked up
big
Shadow
porno
the
games.
Hedgehog, it was like
No, like horror.
it was like rated T14. I was like, what the fuck? I showed my mom. I was like, look, it's just about a game about a hedgehog with guns, and she's like, you can play it.
You can, that's funny as fuck. You can play it.
I cherish this memory because my dad like kind of grew up with like Sonic the Hedgehog, and then when I got home, he was like, "What games did you buy?" I'm like, "Shadow the Hedgehog," and he's like Sonic. I'm like, "Yeah, look," and I handed him the cover, and he starts laughing. He's like, "That's fucking badass."
I can see it.
It's like I like how he's black
visualize
and
it.
red and not that stupid polished blue. And I was like, fuck yeah. He's like, and he has guns too. And he's like, are you gonna let me play? I'm like, fuck no.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't have my GameCube anymore.
R.I.P.
I have it on my emulator though.
Better than nothing. So
I don't
yeah,
have a GameCube, but I have Metroid Prime.
so yeah. Eventually, in Metroid Fusion, you get strong enough to fight the SAX. So it becomes triumphant towards the end. But just in general, that game itself is just you just go through so much shit. I'm used to it. I played that so many times. It's, you know, Fusion and Prime are just
It's on
number
my
one.
It's on my bucket list. I have it because of you. I have a DS because of you, so I probably should play it someday.
Yeah, but goddamn, like, well, I think horror experiences in games. That's just number one that pops in my head. Like,
And it's not even a horror game. It's not even a console game.
Nintendo went all out with that game. I will say that. Like,
Yeah.
They had no right making two games that were that good at once.
no, well, iconic day. But that's the thing is like Metroid was already there. It already had like slight creep factors. Like even like in Super Metroid when you fight, it's that fucking crocodile creature thing. I forget what his name.
Crocodile Dundee.
Terrifying.
But like when you shoot it, it goes under lava. Then it freaking you move like to the left. Then it jumps at you and it's just skeleton and like rotting flesh and shit because it's been burned the whole time.
Yeah, they're like horrific, like alien
Yeah.
fucking monsters. So.
But then when it got to Fusion, it was straight up like, all right, let's make this like a million times worse. Oh yeah, well the thing I forgot to mention in Fusion was that towards the end of the game, again the X multiply. So at first there was like one SAX. By the end of the game there was like 10 different copies of that same thing.
God, when the game, I remember like it was either on a video or you were telling me about it or something, where like the game tells you that there's 10 of them, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's just so Samus' reaction, just exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Yeah. And oh well, speaking of Dread, you know, shout out to Nintendo for finally making us like a follow up to Fusion. Still haven't like been too deep in the game to see like what the story is really about, like why you're doing what you're doing. But Metroid 5 is here. Because like,
Beautiful.
goddamn, like I always wondered what the fuck happens after Fusion. Like, it's such a big cliffhanger.
do they explain how she gets out of the fusion suit and all the goopy stuff?
No.
Well,
You're still like the same Samus as that one though. Like you're still like it still acknowledges that you have mature DNA and that you're like vulnerable to the cold and all that shit. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's been a fun experience so far. From people I have seen that review that game, they've said it feels like 10 out of 10 classic 2D Metroid.
beautiful.
And
Yay.
and the more I
Great
play
tribute.
it, it definitely feels like, you know, at first I wasn't like the biggest fan of like the whole like Samus Return style, you know, like the 3D, 2D, but I've been getting pretty used to it with this game. Like it's been growing on me. So,
And I mean, that game is kind of like a few leagues above it, like graphically.
oh yeah, because you know it's on Switch.
Right. And you can always plug it into your TV and use that Pro Controller.
Ooh. So yeah, Fusion probably creepiest game I've ever played.
It's not a horror game. Doesn't have to be a horror game to be a creepy experience.
It's horror as fuck to me.
Yeah.
For Nintendo standards, for like being known
Number
as
one.
being like a
Number one.
kid company, you know, games for kids, blah blah.
Up tier.
100% a horror game.
Oh yeah. Well,
And anything else you guys want to add on?
I have nothing to add personally.
Off the top of my head.
Oh,
Thank
I
you,
forgot.
Diego, for your story about Metroid Fusion.
You're welcome. I will never forget. I forgot one. Fortnite.
Thank you, everybody, for watching the podcast and tuning in and listening, however you are doing that. But, yeah. Scary moments in video games, scary video games.
And
Scary moments and nice memories.
Happy fucking Halloween.
watch Halloween Kills and No Time to Die.
Probably ended on that, right? With
Take
that
a
little laugh. That little laugh that we just did.
What's the
Right there.
iCarly outro?
We have one.
I don't think so.
I
All
know.
right, well, Trevor's gonna go bed now.